Hi, everyone. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Let's get this fired up. Where'd we go, Zoom? It's always a little tricky getting back to Zoom once it starts streaming, recording. All right, just let me spotlight up. One moment. What is activities? Here we go. Done. All right. Whew. Welcome. Today feels like Monday, feels like Tuesday. It feels like we're just starting to come out of the eclipse window. And uh, there is no doubt that the astrological aspects we are tracking with are definitely going to be around through the end of the month, which is huge. That is a really, really big piece to be thinking about. And so the reason why I say that is because um, essentially our energy bodies, everything you guys have been up to, you're all, incredibly smart, gifted, motivated, inspired individuals. And being in sync, as I know you are, because you show up to these meditations and you do the work, you're tracking with what the bigger collective cycles and fields are. And what that cycle would tell us, especially one that was as big and collectively impactful that we experienced last week, 1 week ago now, just over 1 week ago, is that we should be like the horses are ready to leave the gate, right? That's essentially where our energy is at, and the momentum is starting to pick up. I am sure there are plenty of projects you can see the runway for the next several weeks, if not months, if not through the year. However, and that is reflected in Venus, in Chiron, in the moon. There's been a lot of energies that have been essentially jumping into that forward movement. However, we do have a little bit of Mercury retrograde that is neither here nor there. It's still though causing us to like be in a little bit different gear in terms of forward motion and mind energy. However, the piece I want to sync up with you on is the Saturn Mars conjunction, which is essentially acting like a nice big anchor into everything that was pre-eclipse. And we're just coming out of it. It's going to be lingering. The effects of it are really going to be lingering and consistent with the Mercury retrograde through the end of the month. Unless, of course, we go in and we shift the energy intentionally, as we are going to do today. So I'm pretty excited about this because what showed up as I was prepping this meditation was access to some energies that we maybe can't connect to, or, it's like if you're digging in the closet with all the lights off and you just keep going and you keep going and you just can't find that one thing. And then all of a sudden, you walk away, you come back a week later, and next thing you know, there it is. And you're like, I looked there a million times. Why was it not there? That's kind of what this effect is. And that's going to be the purpose of today's meditation. We're going to be tracking with some incredible Kali energy, because whenever there are lingering essence, things to be shut down / collapsed in the fields, it's always a good Kali. It's always a good end completion of cycle, and to bring it in with the goddess and allow Kali to be that guide. So with that, diving in, whether you are capturing this in the peak of the astrological aspects that I was just taking you through, or you are getting this at a future point in time, essentially all of us are going to be able to use this field of energy at any point to be able to clean out that back corner in the closet that is hard to access otherwise. So enough chatting and getting us ready for the field. Let's actually do it. Closing your eyes and taking that nice deep breath in. A nice big out. I want to hear you through the ethers sigh as you release that energy. And let's go ahead and do it again. And a nice big sigh. And I really want to have you, as you're doing these next couple of breaths, we're going to keep repeating it until I can feel you collectively giving me your ahs. Deep breath in, really raise the shoulders up, like stretch through the spine, and then slouch into it, just compressing down through the belly as you exhale out with a nice big sigh. Let's do it again. Almost there. I can hear those sighs coming through the ethers. Oh, that was a good one. All right. And one more all together now. Nice deep breath in. Nice and tall through the spine. And then a big sink all the way in. Even roll your shoulders. If you're sitting, kind of curl in on yourself. Really squeeze through the belly. Expand through the spine. You can take little mini sips of breath here. Really focusing on those shoulder blades. Keep curving over. If you were laying down for this, go ahead and get into like a fetal position and be sure to get the spine nice and open. Really bringing the chin down. All right, everybody's getting to see top of my head and all of the grays up there. As you connect with that through the ethers, a little bit of humor for journeying into what is really just a big field of yuck, because that's where we're going today. And you are going to feel so good on the other side of this meditation. I can't even begin to tell you how much lighter, how much clearer, how much you're gonna be like, I didn't even know that was there. And then it's gone. And it's in its absence that you feel the lessening of the weight. That's what we're up to today. So as we come back to center, go ahead and undulate on your sitting bones, side to side. Side to side, doing great. All right, breathing in and out. And let's go ahead and activate our light link. Again, breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. And as you activate the light link, imagining the sun shining down on you. And really soak in those rays. Let that sun burn through your body. Let it burn through your consciousness. Soaking in those rays, feeling the sun as it's burning in, breathing in and out, breathing in and out. And shifting to your hips, to your pelvic floor. This is where we're going to spend a lot of our time today. Shifting down and in, breathing in and out, feeling the energy, opening up. Again, keep undulating on the sitting bones. Keep undulating on the sitting bones. Back and forth, slowly tilting the pelvis in one direction or another. Breathing in and out. And go ahead and come back up to the sunshine for a moment. Shifting back up to the sunshine. As you shift to the sun, really, so I want to have you, actually, you can go ahead and do it too. Imagine you're stretching your arms up to the sun, all the way up to the sun. And you can actually do it too if you want. Really reaching them up, feeling them, opening your chest. Go ahead and roll the shoulders back a little bit and feeling that sunshine hitting again. We're going to kind of toggle between the two a couple times here just to warm the body up, get the energy flowing. activating where we need it to go, breathing in and out, opening the shoulders, again, pushing through the shoulder blades, opening the chest, bringing the shoulders forward and then back. And all right, coming back to the hips. Here we go. You're ready to launch. Go ahead and feel the weight or the lightness of all of that sunshine. Your body may even feel really activated, as though you're warmed up, ready to rock and roll. A little bit of energy, kundalini flowing as we roll on those sitting bones. We're just waking that kundalini life force energy up. And I want to have you shift focus now all the way to your feet and imagining that as you shift to feet today, even go ahead and feeling yourself in the space, stretching the arms up to the sun, feeling the sun, and your feet sinking into quicksand. We are not going to go to the crystal quartz straight away. We are taking our time getting there because we have some stuff to clear. So sinking into the quicksand, but you didn't even know it was there. Probably doesn't feel the most comfortable. So however you need to breathe through this, we are going all the way in. So just continuing to breathe, knowing that as you confront these more dense energies, you have your breath. And anything that comes up just from the imagery of imagining quicksand pressing on your body, drawing you under, any of those triggers, if you will, just continue to breathe and know that it is an appropriate trigger for releasing the fields. We're going to move right through it. It's almost as though once we pass all the way through, as our head starts to slip beneath the surface, you can see your fingers stretching up to the warmth of the sun. You can see that last little bit of sunshine. And noticing that your feet have already passed through the quicksand, as though there is some water beneath the surface. And like the incredible light being that you are, you're able to simply sink down, continuing to sink down into the field of water as the body continues to come through the quicksand. So again, the energies that are here are infrastructure, they are systems, they are the big organizational stuff. And this is shifting out not only for each of us as individuals, it is speaking, but also the larger collective whole. And it is speaking to the ways in which you approach your life. Very much like how, like what this meditation is going to solve today is how you are holding energy in ways that just don't work anymore. And so it's imperative that we allow the Piscean field, because that's where all this water is coming from, is this Piscean field. It is open to us. As soon as Saturn and Mars shift, we're not going to be able to access this field again in the same way. So we get to, it's like someone opened the back door, gave us access to what is beneath the surface for this one moment in time. We get to jump in and clear it and keep going. And you may even find, keep undulating on the spine, keep moving the energy in your physical body, because that's where we're opening up. As you continue to sink down your head, we're clearing, we're in the water. I know some of you may be going faster and totally in the water with like this nice layer of quicksand floating on the surface, almost like you could imagine it like a film. Do not rush yourself through this. This is your opportunity to not sink like a rock to the bottom, but to really embrace the larger stuff that's hard to get access to. This is a fundamental field. that is dictating how you are taking action in the world. And it is asking, it is begging us to be cleaned, to be flushed out. And so, again, imagining the feet in the water, like really kind of like you're getting a sand scrub, right? If you've ever had like a facial sand sugar scrub or anything, it may feel really uncomfortable. Try and make it a little bit pleasant, but let the triggers, let those emotions come through as well. Whatever challenge you're working out of your system, let it really surface itself. Go ahead and face it dead on. And I can feel only just the crown of the head now. Again, I'm intentionally going slow. Usually in this Metatronic field, we really want to roll fast, but this is big, big stuff. You do not want to miss a moment of cleaning out what's here to be cleaned out. That's why we're taking our time. And you should feel some lingering energies of that quicksand that's hovering on the surface of the water. Maybe your fingertips are still in it. Maybe if you have long hair, it's still kind of caught up there. You can imagine your hair full of quicksand now, full of sand as we drop into the depths, into the murky waters. Let them be murky. If you are getting crystal clear, awesome. Then I need you to start looking for a cord, much like if you can imagine, like a big oil rig, or if you've ever seen, we live in Florida, so we see this stuff a lot, but on big, big, like industrial size fixtures in the ocean, there's these massive cables and massive cords, if you will, that hold different infrastructures in place. And so if the water is getting less murky and more clear, you're going to get a flash in your mind's eye of a cord at some moment, and it's probably going to look old with like all kinds of seaweed and debris, like the mossy stuff just hanging off it. And it's probably going to look like it's shooting off into the abyss, into the darkness. And that is where we are going today. It's allowing ourselves to kind of follow this cord, this big, massive anchor line, because that's what those are anchor lines out into the abyss, into the depths. And I want you to track for a moment with the future vision, with everything that's been calling you forward, even put a smile on your lips. We get a quick little inner break for like the mystery and the magic and all the joy and the excitement and everything that you know is coming and that you have been feeling and tapping into. You can feel that. It's amazing. That's your, it's your mystery ship up on the surface. Like it's ready to launch. It's ready to go. But we get to come back to these depths and this anchor line. Drifting down and in. Now, for some of you, actually, it's time for us to now call upon the Kali. And Kali she brings the storms, she brings death, she brings destruction, she's the tornado, she's the hurricane, but also it's the beginning of the new cycle. And so invoking her, less she really can harness all of the elements. We're going to use her harnessing the water element and allow yourself to begin to feel not so much pulled by the cord, but pulled by the abyss, as though there is a gravitational current that is sucking you now intentionally and maybe even quickly down and in. Like as though your feet, I mean, if you're brave enough to swim head first into this and like, put your arms out and let yourself be sucked down, the sensation would be that of being sucked down to a drain. And this is a powerful, powerful drain. So much so, if you have kids in pools, you know that like the drain in the bottom of the pool is a huge risk. Like you think about those things, especially if your pool doesn't have a drain cover, because that's how, if little kids fall in, how horrible things can happen. But think about the force it would take for drawing even an adult to the bottom, because the suction is so strong. That's where I want to take you right now. Like really, and sorry for the morbid imagery, and blessings for all the light, and for people who have in actuality given me this imagery. Um, and and there's something to be said for, this is the kind of suction that you may want to call in your angels for, right? You may need, because this system that is leaving your system right now, the ways in which you hold energy is so big and so strong and so foundational and so pivotal to how you have done life up until this point, that you may not know how to do it. And there may be more fear. I guarantee you there's more fear on the other side of this than there is all of the joy and the fun and the excitement that we think comes with doing the deep, heavy work on the other side of it. So calling in your angels as you call in the Kali, and you really let this drain pull you under, really feel the current of energy flipping past, and with it, all of the murky water. You notice that it's almost as though the entire ocean is draining out of this vortex, out of this massive field that we are slipping through. And there is like, it is murky. There is some tar that's going. Again, feeling that vortex of water spinning, pulling you down. And I want to have you I want you to stay present in the field, letting it suck and draw past you. You can see that layer of quicksand getting closer. And as you are ready, calling upon the Kali herself. And the reason why is that the goddess, when we are in the darkest of the darkest hours, the reminder is that the mother, the goddess, is always there. She's always present. And these types of exercises are always to call us back to her. And so as you start to see some of this water getting sucked down the drain, and it may not even look like a drain, it may just look like a vortex, a field of energy that's draining out, that is like if you were in space, and like, in the movies, they tell us that, like, we have learned the fear is you lose all of your support system, or the spaceship, the environment, the artificial environment that we've created to survive in. You'd be sucked out into the void, into the vacuum. That's what's on the other side of this one. It is infinite. It is uncertainty. Just keep letting her go. And as you call on the Kali, know that it is love of the mother in her field of chaos. And so somewhere in here, I want you to start looking through the tar as it slides past, or if you're finding yourself barely hanging on to the rim of this drain so you don't get sucked out into space, the handhold that I want you to start to look for is that of the goddess, that of the Kali, the extension of the purple indigo threads. And whether you didn't notice, you maybe had a thread of indigo around your wrist, or maybe there's a line that's coming through that looks like indigo, or maybe the vacuum on the other side where space is and where this ocean of energy is dumping out into the ethers, into the void of space, becomes a field of the violet flame. You're no longer being sucked away. And you can now start to see some of the quicksand flying past you. It's like there's all this motion and current, and then this incredible field of luminescent violet rays streaming around you. And if you were to let go, it'd be like you're just floating, landing on a indigo fields of clouds of softness. And in your mind's eye, you may beginning to see, actually get some violet flame pulsing. The Kali is in her completion. She is the indigo flame. But what's fascinating about her, despite her symbolism, which is snakes and death and every weapon you can conceive and multiple arms, more than an octopus. She looks incredible and scary, and she's usually holding a head that's been chopped off in her imagery. She has got some craziness going on, and yet her color is blue. Her color is the azure flame, the flame of the future, the flame of where we are going. So in death, we find hope. And so as the Kali, who was birthed from the Devi, birthed from the life force to kill the Durga, presents herself to you, the Durga being the demon in the mythology, and then the Devi and Kali becoming the evolution and taking on the name Durga and transcending it from that of the demonic name to that of one of the most powerful goddesses in the Hindu pantheon. And so feeling into your field for just a moment, come back to those hips. Promised it would feel lighter, more open. Go ahead and like really sit into your sitting bones and undulate back and forth on that tailbone from side to side and back and forth, maybe even twist through the spine in the belly. And instead of calling in the sun in the midst of this field of blues, you can feel the chaos on the outer realm. It's as though we're hovering in a field of energy, a vortex of energy, of infinite possibilities, kind of like an asteroid field. You can see all the tar in the ocean and even the remnants of that cord that was anchoring you down and in. Maybe it's still attached. And if it is, go ahead and give it an up level. Go ahead and imagine placing your hands on it, coming back through the drain now, gazing into the azure waters. And as you see that anchor line fastened solidly somewhere out in the abyss, you start to see it taking on luminescent form, fiber optics, light, golden, beautiful, now like Poseidon's staff, firm, trident, sorry, not staff, trident, guiding you to the surface. The water's clear, crystal clear. All of the noise and the debris and the chaos that is collected over the last year especially since the fall, especially rising to the surface like a yucky field of sargassum in the ocean, non-native and not welcome. You can feel all of that having cleared out of the field as you slowly, bubble by bubble, drift to the surface towards the sun, that Poseidon staff, that masculine field, that Mars energy taking new shape and form, this beautiful container the Piscean field held, empowered, charged, that Saturn being that anchor cord, rebooted. It is no longer what it was. In fact, you just gave yourself a whole new line. You may even want to just imagine the old one going away if you can't get it to upgrade to fiber optic luminescent light, and just envision a new one dropping down and in, and you being able to swim down and fix it with golden light, much like if we were to be scuba diving, submarine, whatever imagery works for you. And as you feel like all of these energetics are complete, a new cord, a new anchor cord, upgraded, beautiful energy. Oh my gosh, listen for the sounds of the whales. Oh, they just came through so loud. The keepers of the Akashic and the mystery teachings that have united and inspired humanity, nurtured with their wisdom, sinking, integrating our oceans. They swim from one ocean to the next, carrying with them the light and love of the divine. Now feeling safe, feeling abundant, swimming through your waters, maybe even some clicking of some dolphins, some octopus, swimming through, gliding, whole plethora of a new beginning, a new field of energy for you to manifest and create from. As we give thanks to the Kali, this gift, hope of light and love, in whatever ways she was our vortex, she was our drain, she was the suction today. And as we harmonized the field, you may have seen her come through with some of the imagery I provided. Really, really deeply feeling her and that power that lives within you. As we give our one last final kick to the surface, in blessings and light and love, and feeling a blue dot on your forehead. Maybe it's even red. It may not be blue. I'm not going to call it as that, but some dot on your forehead, a blessing, a marking of the Kali. Allowing yourself to rise from the waters, to walk to the shore with this trident, blessed by the Kali, blessed by Poseidon today, unexpectedly. As we welcome in light, as we welcome in love. Namaste. Welcome back. I hope everyone is feeling clear and lighter as you slowly make your way back into the room and the moment. We went a little long and it feels good. So don't just get up. I want you to get up, do some jumping jacks, roll your hips, dance around, shake your head, shake your arms, get a little crazy, get a little jiggy with it, right? Really, really get that Kundalini energy, get some motion going, right? As you're getting up, you don't have to do it for long. You can rush through this part if you want, but roll in the shoulders, really crank it. That's how you're going to feel that lightness starting to come through, and that weight as though you had an anchor just kind of sitting wedged in down there in your spine around the tailbone, gone. You feel that? Everybody should feel like a nice pocket of violet flame energy sitting just above the tailbone, like right at the top of where the pelvic floor, I don't know the names, the technical names, but at the top of um, the pelvis where it all comes together there at the base of the spine. Maybe that's like an L1. I have no idea the numbers, but that's probably the other direction up by the skull. Anyway, you guys did it. Enough, enough, enough from me. Namaste. So much love.